Hello, my name is Danny Nowlan and I'm the Director of ChassisSim Technologies. Welcome to this latest ChassisSim tutorial, and what I'm going to be talking to you about today is the ChassisSim version 3.26 release, which has literally just been released today. Now, a couple of new things with version 3.26. It's an evolution from version 3.25. That being said, there are a couple of new and improved features that we've added, and so let me walk you through those very briefly. Okay, in terms of technical features, the biggest feature difference from version 3.25 to 3.26 is if you go into Aero, you will now see you now have the ability for Aero's lateral sideways force. So you can put this as a function of your angle for CYI, its effect on on lateral aero balance, your drag map, and your lateral aero rolling arm. That is basically your rolling moment arm. So that's basically in there for you if you need to take it into account. The other new thing with ChassisSim version 3.26 is if you go to the electric powertrain, is we've now given you multiple torque map options. So you've got the ability to select multiple torque maps as a function of RPM and throttle, and you put that in Newton meters. And you can index this as a function of distance. Also, too, you can index this as a function of gear as well. And also, too, you can do this also for the internal combustion engines as well, albeit with the internal combustion engines, I haven't put in fuel consumption yet. That's a work in progress, or depending on how many people decide to scream about it. Also, too, for the electric vehicle option, you've now got braking regen maps as well. So you can choose that as a function of distance, and you can also choose it as just a current regen map if you just want to play that option. Other features for ChassisSim is we've also, if you click on the rear wing and you go to the downforce Dragonwing changes editor, you've now got an option here. Click here to assign current setup. I realize that for some of you, sometimes getting your head around Aero can be a little bit challenging. So what we've done here is if you click here to assign the Aero, to assign the Aero setup, what that will do is that will take the current Aero configuration and translate it to what the current downforce, drag, and aero balance is at your particular ride height and your particular setup. Obviously, taking into account the reference speed and the reference density that you've put in there. So consequently, you can just put that in, and then if you want to just do delta changes in terms of downforce, drag, in terms of front downforce, rear downforce, and drag, you've also got that option as well. The other big thing that we've got with ChassisSim version 3.26 is that we've now got an option in Aeromodelling. You've got this tab here. Click here to generate aero map from track replay results. Now, what this is, think of this, what it does is it uses the ChassisSim track replay option to effectively determine the downforce and aero balance map for your particular configuration. Think of this as the halfway house between the one-touch Aeromodelling and putting together a full ride height aero map. So typically to use it, you obviously need to load in your curvature bump profile or the altitude road camper file that you've been using. You put in your monster file, you put in a target CLA and aero balance file. And what this will do is it will generate a first cut of what the downforce file is and what the aero balance file is. It will also generate a file that you can use in the optimized aero map results, where you can go through and have a bit more of a detailed look. Our initial testing has shown that, so particularly for one particular data set, this has proven to be really, really promising. So I'm sort of putting this out there in the ChassisSim community for you guys to have a play with, because we were testing it with a variety of different race cars, and the numbers actually look to be pretty good. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting it out in this release, but this is very much going to be this is work in progress is probably the wrong word for it, but I would also, I would probably say watch this space. So I think some exciting developments are going to be happening here. But for the time being, I'm turning it over for you guys to have a play with. So take it out for a spin. The other key feature that we've done with ChassisSim is that there are some enhancements to the data logging. Okay, first things first. ChassisSim now talks to AIM Race Studio Analysis. A big sing out to all the guys from AIM in particular, Emiliano Benio, who made this possible and worked very closely with us to make this happen. So a big thank you to those guys. Also, too, for those of you who are struggling with the existing Morelli import, you've now got the option to export to Magneto Morelli in an ASCII file format. So you can use the Morelli ASCII importer in Wintax to put that in. You've also, in data output options, you've also got the option here for data offsets. So you can basically put in data offsets for front dampers, rear dampers, loads, and your ride heights as well. That's actually a really handy feature for the track replay simulation. So that's there for you to use as well. Also, too, for those of you in North America who still insist on using Imperial units, what we've got here is a little tag here for using Pi Toolbox. Click here to export speed and distance in Imperial for Pi Toolbox. So what that will do is that will export speed and distance in miles per hour and in feet. So hopefully that should make your track import a little bit easier, albeit the rest of it is still in metric. Okay, so that's just a little quick note from us here in ChassisSim of what's coming down with ChassisSim version 3.26. If you're in the ChassisSim community, you should have received your emails by now in terms of saying go off and download this. This will be uploaded to the online simulation in a day or two. Just a few bits and pieces I've just got to get out of the way before I do that. But look, don't take my word for it. Take ChassisSim version 3.26 for a spin and find out for yourself just what a powerful tool ChassisSim is.